Next, we'll talk about the paint bucket tool. So here I have a circle, and I've intentionally left a little bit of a gap here. So sometimes when you're drawing, you might leave little gaps in your artwork. So when you go to use your paint bucket tool to fill it in, you would need to close this gap. And then when you use the paint bucket tool, it'll fill in. But Toon Boom Harmony also has this feature called Close Gap, which is over here in your tool properties. So if I click this button, I can select Close Small Gap, Medium Gap, or Large Gap. We'll just select Close Medium Gap, and we'll select our color and fill it in. And you'll see Toon Boom Harmony has filled it in for us and closed this gap for us. So that's a pretty useful feature. Also, if we hold down our mouse on the paint bucket tool, you'll see all these other paint bucket options. So there's Paint Unpainted, and the way that works is it will fill in any shape that has not been filled in already. So for example, if I take my blue color and I fill in one of these circles with blue, and then I go to my Paint Unpainted tool and I select red and select all of my circles, it will fill in all the colors that have not been filled in already, leaving all my original colors the way they were. This is really useful for quickly filling in an outlined character. Then we have Unpaint, which is similar to selecting a piece of artwork and pressing delete, or you can also select your Unpaint tool and just click areas to unpaint them. We also have these tools called Stroke and Close Gap. So if we select Stroke and then draw a shape, we'll get a little message that appears that says you have added a stroke to the drawing, but it will not be visible unless you activate the Show Strokes from the View menu. So we'll click OK, and it looks like nothing happened. So we're going to follow what that dialog said, and we'll go to View, Show, and Show Strokes, or it's the hotkey of K. And now we have a blue outline showing where our invisible stroke is. And if we press K, it'll disappear, but it's still there. So if I take my arrow tool and I select here, you'll see my stroke is still there, even though I can't see it. So you can think of this as kind of like an invisible drawing tool, and I'll show you how that's useful. So for example, if I have a character's face here, and he's filled in with white, and I take my stroke tool, and I just apply a stroke on him, and since I already know this is happening, that it's not going to be visible, I can select Don't Show Again, and again, it doesn't show, so I'm going to press the hotkey of K so I can see my stroke again. And now what I can do is I can fill in this area with my paint bucket tool with blue. So this is a really easy way to shade your character, is using the invisible stroke tool. And these strokes won't show up, they don't render or anything, so you don't have to worry about them showing up in your final animation.